Have you ever faced a moment that tested everything you believed in? A moment so difficult, it felt like the weight of the world was on your shoulders. Today, we're diving into one of the most profound stories ever told, a story about faith, trust, and a test that pushed a father to the absolute limit. This is the story of Abraham and Isaac. Picture this: Abraham, a man who had waited 100 years for a promised son, Isaac. This son was the embodiment of God's covenant, the future of his lineage. Then, one day, God speaks. The command is unimaginable. Take your son, your only son, whom you love, Isaac, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you. Can you imagine the turmoil in Abraham's heart? Every logical fiber of his being must have been screaming in protest. This command seemed to contradict everything God had promised. Yet, the very next morning, Abraham rises early. He saddles his donkey, takes 2 of his servants and his son Isaac, and begins the journey. This wasn't a rash decision. It was a deliberate act of obedience, born from a lifetime of walking with God. His faith was not a blind leap, but a deep-seated trust that the God who gives life could also bring life from death. For 3 days, they travel, 3 days of silent walking, with the weight of that terrible command hanging in the air. Imagine the conversations that weren't had, the questions Isaac might have asked, and the steadfast, yet sorrowful, expression on Abraham's face. When they finally see the mountain in the distance, Abraham tells his servants, "Stay here with the donkey while I and the boy go over there. We will worship, and then we will come back to you." Did you catch that? We will come back. Even in this moment of extreme trial, Abraham's faith held onto a sliver of hope that both he and Isaac would return. As they ascend the mountain, just the 2 of them, Isaac breaks the silence. "Father, yes, my son," Abraham replies. "The fire and wood are here," Isaac says. "But where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" The innocence of that question is heartbreaking. How does a father answer that? Abraham's response is a cornerstone of faith. "God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son." He didn't know how, he didn't know when, but he trusted that God had a plan. They reached the place God had told him about. Abraham builds an altar. He arranges the wood. Then comes the most gut-wrenching moment. He binds his beloved son Isaac and lays him on the altar. On top of the wood, he raises the knife. In that split second, heaven and earth hold their breath. This is the ultimate surrender, the point where human understanding ends and absolute trust begins. Just as he is about to act, an angel of the Lord calls out from heaven, "Abraham, Abraham." "Here I am," he replies. "Do not lay a hand on the boy," the angel says. "Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld from me your son, your only son." At that moment, Abraham looks up and sees a ram caught in a thicket by its horns. He takes the ram and sacrifices it as a burnt offering instead of his son. God provided. Just as Abraham had believed, God provided the lamb. Abraham named that place "The Lord Will Provide." This wasn't just about passing a test. It was a profound revelation of God's character. He is a God who provides, even in our most desperate moments. This story isn't just an ancient tale. It speaks to us today. It asks us, what is our Isaac? What is the one thing we hold so dear that we're afraid to entrust it to God? Our careers, our relationships, our plans for the future. Abraham's story teaches us that when we are willing to surrender everything, we discover that God's provision is greater than our greatest fears. True faith isn't about having all the answers. It's about trusting the one who does. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If this story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores the depths of faith. Let us know in the comments what this story means to you. We'll see you next time.